One, one, two, three. I don't know if I should have any other numbers, but hello.
Hi.
Hi, Krista. How are you?
Oh, it's Thursday, my favorite day.
I love it too. All right, and it is Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Time, the year of our Lord, 2022. It's March 3rd. We are already 62 days into the new year. I'm excited about what we got going on and our special guest, David Alto. Donnie, are you ready to lead us out? We're going to be right back with David and happening now. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
All right, David, welcome. Welcome to LunchTalk.
I don't know about you, but that music gets me amped up every time.
Yeah, if you want to know something, here's a true story. That music is ours. It was done for me by my brother, who is a musician, quite famous one, actually. And he had built me some music that would just be ours. And I was like, where's it at? Right? Like, I thought you were going to hook me up. He goes, well, it turned out really good. And the guys heard it, and it ended up becoming a new single.
Oh, stop.
I'm not kidding you. Okay. And I'm not going to talk about because this isn't my brother's show. He has his own fan
We're
base.
not going to hang in his
but
shadow.
The point was like, his stuff's kind of a big deal, like platinum level. Right. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying not to be a jerk because, like, I'm getting this for free and he's my brother, you know? Yeah. So he's like, but I got something really cool for you. I was like, all right. And that's it. So that's part of it. But yeah, so we have our own LunchTalk. That's our music, baby. That's ours.
No, that's awesome.
Right? What do you think? Hey, David, welcome to LunchTalk Live, man.
Hey, thank you. I hear that I got jacked up. I drank 3 pots of coffee, 5 Monsters, and some No-Dos.
Shoot, you know what? Like, I think my rain. I don't know if it's a rain or it's a rain, yeah, or a bang. But I left my rain on my tape, my desk. Take on it. I have my coffee. I have my water. I forgot my energy drink.
And we also have Maria. I can see Maria on here live watching. And she's like, I'm gonna bring this down for a minute.
Oh yeah, she's like, I wanna chill it out a bit. I want to chill it out. Hey, listen, here's how this goes. If you're watching right now, do us a favor, drop a hashtag live in the comments. Let us know. We got a lot of good stuff that's going to be coming up. Why? Well, I would consider Mr. Alto here an expert in understanding how to get yourself noticed on LinkedIn and understanding how to leverage it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right into this. David, I want the people to meet you. And for those of you that are watching, if you know that somebody's going to need this advice, I'm not kidding. There's a lot of great tips here, and it's going to come at you, in a conversation. So if you know somebody that is seeking a job right now, know someone that is trying to work their way into a better place, or you're just in a position where you're trying to understand how to better leverage yourself using LinkedIn, get some notes out, because you're going to want to write this stuff down, and you're going to want to definitely follow David so you can understand more about what he's doing and how he's helping others. But I'm going to let him get into the story, start tagging people, let them know they need to watch this or at least get on a replay. You're going to get some nuggets. I'm telling you. David, it's all you, man. Tell us about who you are. Let's tell the audience.
Yeah, sure. So listen, if you're a job seeker and you're struggling to land interviews, or you're getting just those darn rejection emails, it's probably not because your resume sucks. Maybe because when you're applying, there's this thing called the ATS, the applicant tracking system, or what I like to call the evil resume bots. Kind of, if you see my banner on my LinkedIn profile, that's a photo, cartoon photo of me, kind of wrestling the ATS
I'm gonna pull it up. Well, you keep talking. I'll pull it up and share it so the audience can see. But what did you just say that was called? The evil what?
I call them the evil resume bots because
what was the acronym?
The ATS, the applicant tracking system. It's legit. 90 some % of companies get hundreds of applicants per job. hundreds and hundreds. Okay. So the only way they can go through those to meet the criteria of the job description is to use some software that kind of just weeds out, based on some keywords.
Mhm.
So I write resumes that tell people my client's story, but then I'm mindful knowing that companies use software. So I kind of use some software myself, not to create it, but to identify missing key terminology, hard and soft skills. And there's free resources you can use out there. But a lot of times when you know you're qualified and you're just getting those darn rejection emails, it's only because maybe you just don't have enough of the keywords. So
Okay.
let me wrestle the ATS bots and land you interviews.
So how did you end up here?
Sure. So okay. So January 2019, I was a multi-unit manager in the retail world for a long time. I thought that our company was going to sell. I thought we were going to franchise because we were starting to franchise already. And I'm like, not again. So I got on LinkedIn, started really looking for, maybe my next career. And by sharing and posting, what I found was a platform where I could, give back. I've been writing resumes on the side for a long time. So I started just going all in on LinkedIn, providing tips and advice, writing resumes for people, helping them with their LinkedIn profile for free, until somebody landed a great job with the resume that I created. They said, well, I got to pay you for that. I said, okay. And then kind of took off from there. I did my side hustle for about 6 months, really going all in LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, doing my little side hustle and my day job, until my day job got in the way of doing what I'm doing and
Doing the side hustle. Until the side hustle became the main hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. December of 2019, left my day job to do what I'm doing now, and I'm blessed to have almost 67,000 followers here on LinkedIn. And when you just it's not this boring business platform that everybody thinks it is. When you learn to share what you know, don't go finding your audience. Don't go find your tribe. By sharing and posting, engaging, your tribe will find you. But you know what? You need to be active. You need to embrace it, and it's very similar to Facebook. And as far as you can join groups, you can comment, you can share, just without the Facebook drama, I think.
without the Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Well, even though there's some negative people on LinkedIn, Facebook, for me is just a lot of negativity. I don't like it. So.
No, I agree. We've been a huge advocates for it, and for different types, pieces of area in the business. I know Krista has been able to leverage Facebook tremendously for her business, and that's been good for her because of the nature of what she does. But as she's starting to establish now a trainer program, she's built this incredibly successful fitness coaching program, and now she's getting ready to put out a program teaching other people who are passionate about fitness and about health and about wellness of mind, body, spirit, all of those things, and teach others how to build this program. I know that's why she started exploring LinkedIn, going, Rigo, what are you doing on LinkedIn? I said, why don't you just come hang out with me and be part of this cool show? And I suckered into like one or two, and then I was like, hey.
Now I'm a permanent fixture.
I'm like, how about we just make this like our show? Like, because I like having you here. This is really great. And I think the audience does too. But David, you were talking to me about some things. Help me understand here. Let's bring out a couple points. If we wanted to give some of the folks watching right now, what are some of the number one things, and maybe I should say it differently, but 3 or 4 really great hacks or tips that an individual can understand right away to optimize their ability to connect with the right job, and some do's and don'ts. You mentioned some really big don'ts that I thought was interesting.
Sure. So let's say, okay, you're a job seeker on LinkedIn. Your first thought is, I'm going to connect with recruiters, hiring managers, HR. Well, most recruiters suck, and I have the permission from an amazing recruiter to say that. So, but a lot of times recruiters, they get bombarded by people all the time on LinkedIn. Hey, I'm out of my job. Here's my resume. Hire me, hire me, hire me. HR, hiring managers never want to give the illusion you're going to get an interview or whatever. So what I teach my clients, and I'm going to give this out for free. So if you're a job seeker and you see a job you want to apply for, let's say it's a project manager at Amazon, go onto LinkedIn, search for people that work at Amazon as a project manager, message them. Two reasons. One, they know transferable skills. They're going to be able to see your profile, know if you can, you could do that job. And two, let's face it, companies give out referral bonuses. And sometimes we're not talking hundreds. My wife gets anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 every time she refers somebody. She refers at least one person or a couple people a year. But so that person could be some financial gain, but going after people in the same or similar role at the same company will get you traction. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be connecting to people in industries, in jobs, in positions, and with companies that you want anyway. So
let's stop there real quick. I want to highlight this because of course I told everybody you're going to be dropping nuggets. You dropped like 8. So let's go to your one point you got to remember most of these people are my friends or they know me. So they're already kind of used to moving slower.
Okay.
Right? Or trying to dissect
level. Slow intensely.
Okay.
All right. So real quick, I just want to point something out. Yes, Dave, we are doing more right camera. Thanks, Maria. Okay. So apparently I'm blocking people from connecting with me. See, we learned some things, right? We learned a little bit, we learned some skills on public speaking. So Maria, that was for you. All right. So real quick, what we call this in the sales arena is called influencer marketing. Okay. And so what you have just described is a strategic skill set in understanding how to make connections by connecting with someone within the field of area, like you're saying. And this is what's so beautiful about what you're asking, are giving as an advice. This individual who's trying to find the job, they're trying to find a job. And like you said, thousands of applications. Remember, there's 400 million people on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn alone as a service, okay, gets one person hired every 15 seconds. One person is hired every 15 seconds using LinkedIn. So if you don't understand how to leverage it, this is what David's trying to explain. Like the power of getting your dream job or where you want to be is incredibly good right here on this platform. Now, what you've done is you've given somebody the ability to go connect with somebody in their field. First off, they're more likely to connect with you because there's not a whole lot of folks reaching out.
Absolutely.
Secondly, they're going to find, hey, you know what? You seem to have the skill sets. And yeah, I know that they're looking for that type of person, especially when we're going, hey, David, I want to connect with you. We have similar skill sets and I'd love to see about how I can get an opportunity with the company you work for. What are your thoughts, right? Do you like the company? What do you think about that kind of a tactic, like building that level of relationship?
Oh, yes. And I have this free resource too, that I even have little scripts willing to provide, people that give out what you should say initially and then what you should say when you come back so you don't sound real spammy or, you sound desperate. So, I mean, again, it is really easy because like you said, these people are not getting messaged like recruiters or HR or hiring managers. So they're more apt to respond. Maybe they have a similar, work history like you. So when you message them, there's some commonality there. So it is one of the easiest things that you can do that it'll get you some type of traction. And you just have to use it.
Okay. Yeah. So that was point number 1 is don't connect with the hiring manager, connect with a like person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Within the organization.
Totally. And what I hear you saying is low barrier to entry, right? If we go for the head honcho at the top, there's a lot of sharks in the pool there, right? So that low barrier to entry is going to be a really great place for for a person to go first, right? This is really incredible because I also feel like as technology and platforms advance, it really is mind-boggling on how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there in a way that grabs attention, but not so far to one side or the other that you lose the person that you're trying to reach out to, right? So I love the tips that you're giving, and I'm really excited to see what else we got because this is good stuff. And
it's great. And now let's not forget the other piece that for those of you who are paying attention, one of the benefits of this is that bonus that individual would be able to leverage by making the introduction. And especially right now in this job market, I guarantee you there's individuals searching, because I can tell you this, David, you know what I've noticed recently? There is a lot more folks who are not in a management or hiring position sharing positions of openings in their companies. And I didn't really put the 2 and 2 together. You just cleared that up for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's
smarter people.
They're probably like, hey, anybody in my network? You know what I'm saying? Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. So I love that. Okay, so that was number 1. Let's go in number 2. Let's give us another tip, David. This is great.
All right. So if you're on LinkedIn, you know, some people say, my photo doesn't matter, having a banner doesn't matter, but it does. All of that matters. Just like when LinkedIn is a networking event. It's just open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's global. When you show up at a networking event, you're smiling, right? You're having fun, hopefully. Make sure that photo has you smiling. And believe it or not, make sure when you put your LinkedIn profile photo that either it's just straight on, or it's not this way, but if you have like a profile that's, because you do not want to, believe it or not, you do not want to look off the page to the left, because that's where their eyes will go. And then the headline is the most magical place of your LinkedIn profile, because when recruiters are searching for people on LinkedIn, the content that you put there weighs more than any other spot on your LinkedIn profile.
All right, we're gonna go through that again one more time, because that was again a lot, and some folks out there think they're real funny.
Slow.
Yeah. So apparently they're right though. I am the slowest of the group. All right, real quick here. While you're doing that, I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm going to pull up this image. I don't know if I can do it. Shoot. I'm just gonna share my screen, and let's go with that. Let me try this. Donnie, if for any reason I make a mistake here,
fix it.
Yeah, fix it, because you're the fix it guy. Oh, forget it. Apparently, I forgot to authorize.
You didn't give permission.
I didn't give permission, and if you have an Apple, that means you've got to close things down in order to do it, and I'm not going to. So guess what? I'm going to drop your profile right now into the chat group, and I want those of you who are watching to go check out David's profile. I love David's profile. I do. I think it's great. It caught my attention right away, and it wasn't overly complicated, but he's absolutely right in what he's talking about in the headline and in everything else. But you had given some tips right at the end. Please give that again, because I want to write that down.
All right. So your headline is really SEO for recruiters, search engine, really. It is, because the content that you put in there matters. Because when recruiters are searching for people regarding, in regards to industry, job title, and maybe high-level skills. So let's go back. Let's say I am, in fact, a project manager at Amazon. In my headline, I might write this: project manager, excelling at, and then those high-level skills. High-level skills that recruiters would be searching for. It does no good to put the name of the company in your headline. I want you to pretend that you have to pay for every letter in that headline, because it matters. Because if you write your headline, think of the words that you use in there, and how would people use that to search for you? Now, mine's a little different. This is where, don't do what the teacher, don't look at the teacher's headline as much, and do what I say is not what I do. But again, if I'm that project manager at Amazon, it would be project manager, maybe senior project manager, excelling at, and then again, those high level skills. It does two things. One, if somebody reads it, they understand what you do. But to show up in better searches of any type of search, regardless of you're a recruiter or just searching for somebody doing a certain thing, you can add so much content in the headline. Take advantage of every character.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So you, Rigo, because we're a little slower and we're special, I always think of analogies when people are talking about big ideas, right? And so right away when you start talking about, the header and your picture, this is your real estate. This is your storefront, right? And so would we have weeds and would we have things in the front of our house if we're trying to sell ourselves, right? Because that's what we're doing in essence on LinkedIn, is we are selling ourselves to that person, and how we present ourselves is going to be the most important, is the first impression, right? And so what I hear you saying is get the weeds and the extra junk out of your space that doesn't need to be there and show your biggest attribute. That's going to be the shining star and what attracts or pushes them away from what they're seeing and who they're trying to hire, right? So when you talk about this, all I hear is, this is my storefront, this is my real estate, this is the most important, right? That curb appeal is so important. And are we, is our house positioned in the right spot? Are we looking in the right area? And so that for me really kind of helps me put the two together and understand why that's important and why that needs to be the tidiest area of our LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, people are only going to spend maybe 4 or 5 seconds reviewing your profile to determine whether to connect with you or message you or whatever. So why not quickly be able to tell people what it is you do? Same thing with that banner. That if I work at Amazon, having just the Amazon logo does nothing to tell people what I do. So if I am a project manager, maybe I go searching, I go to Google, I hit project manager, or I hit some of those other high level skills. But what does your banner say you're great at? Now, obviously, if you're doing something different like I do, or you're a freelancer or you own your own business or whatever, that's different. But how does your banner describe like what you do real quick? So it has to be something that's aligned with what you do.
I think this is massively important. It's one of the things that we share with our clients. And I'm glad that you brought this up. So for those of you guys who are watching, do yourself a favor real quick. Go look at your own LinkedIn profile, especially if you're live with us on LinkedIn. Look at your LinkedIn profile. Well, open up another browser, because if you do it right now, you're gonna disconnect. And we don't want you to leave the show right now. We want you to keep getting some nuggets. But understand something. Right away, what's the first impression? Mm-hmm. Do you have a profile photo? Is it a profile photo of you? And people like to think you have to overcomplicate it. You don't. There's tons of apps and all kinds of ways to make a decent profile photo that you can put up, even if you don't have the ability to get some fancy headshot done. But smiling is important. Just a nice smile, right? David, how important is a smile in a photo?
Yeah, like when you're at a networking event, you don't frown and go, "Hello, how are you?" Right? No, you're smiling. Hey, nice to meet you. Right? Yeah, that's warm and welcoming. That's why. Now, maybe you don't put a poker chip on it like I did. I don't play poker. I don't. You don't. I waste. No, that's slot machines, maybe roulette wheel, but. And I do not expect, I do not, the poker chip is just to draw attention, because when I post or comment or whatever, it's actually, my profile photo kind of sticks out more. And if you're a regular job seeker or whatever, I don't encourage that. But again,
can you guys see it right now?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm showing, thank you. Put it up there. I'm like, once I did that, I lost my screen. So here we go, David. Real simple, right? My clients land interviews. So we know right away, this is what you help people do. I like the poker chip. Yeah, I don't know. Look at you. You're beating up the ATS robot.
That's right, darn it. A friend of mine, Dave Officer, made that for me about a year ago or so.
I love it. I love it. And again, here you go right away. This space, your headline, is a place to attract recruiters, hiring managers. I love this. I mean, because that's exactly it. And you can see that if I'm looking at your profile, you have featured items, you have links to what you have to share as value, right? So when somebody goes and spends a little time with you, they're getting value from you. And I think a lot of times as individuals, we forget that we also have value. If you are an employee looking for work, from your volunteer activities to the things you do with your family that are important in telling who you are, right? You don't have to have a podcast or something like that to show off. You have elements, just same thing you would put into a resume. You really want to build that up, because the more someone can connect and understand who you are, the better. And that's essentially what you're telling people here, right here.
Oh, 100% in that featured section. Before I started doing what I did, doing now, you're right. I did have a photo of me volunteering at a food bank. And you can also have, maybe you were a part of a project, or you're mentioned on a website that talks about a project you were tied to. That featured section just allows you to just be able to give social proof of what you're saying on your resume that you did or that you were a part of. And it matters, because most recruiters will go to somebody's profile and they'll have nothing in the featured section. Yep. And again, if you treat this like your own free personal branding website, you can share so much more.
That's what it is. Here's one of the other things I'll put out there. I'm going to wait just in case, because you may have this in your tip and I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for you, David.
Okay. And I'll slow down.
No, I get excited because we try to tell so many people this, like the power that you have with this particular platform to leverage in making connections is absolutely powerful, because we understanding how we gain attention moving forward. And we just recently talked about this in a post, but the creative and these social networks are how we're going to be getting attention moving forward. This is how business is beginning to mature. And that's going to be the variable of someone's success, whether you are a small business owner, whether you are venturing into some type of side hustle like you did, or you are an employee strengthening your personal brand. Even if it doesn't mean you're trying to look for another job, you don't have to be searching for a job to recognize the importance of establishing a personal brand to strengthen for your business and company, or for yourself as you want to grow and mature in your own career. And so I just think that this is powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. And so I'm going to let you go on to the next tip that you got for us. Tip number 3.
All right. So when it comes to LinkedIn, I think that we forget that, okay, I'm comfortable in my role. I'm not going to be looking for a job anytime soon. What do I post? Should I post? Okay. Well, okay. So you could, like you already mentioned this, I could share that my company is looking to fill this one particular job. Not necessarily to get, maybe a referral, but just to share. Think of it like this. All of a sudden, though, a recruiter lands on your profile, and now they see you sharing things about your organization, some great things in the news, maybe some volunteer things that the company is doing, maybe some ribbon cutting that you were a part of, regardless of whatever you're sharing. Okay. Now, if I go to your profile, I think you might be a good fit for this role. And then, I see you being that brand ambassador for the company that you currently work for, regardless if that post gets any traction or not, because maybe you don't have that many followers and connections. I still feel good that, hey, you're probably going to do that for us as well too.
That's right.
And companies are more mindful of that nowadays. They really are. It's not necessarily about the views or the likes, but again, being that brand ambassador for the current company you're working for is almost great strategy for when somebody comes and looks at your profile.
Hey, that's right. Nobody likes, when I was in a hiring position, the biggest red flag was when someone was ready to walk away from their company immediately. Because I'd be like, well, okay, so that means you'll do that to me. If you'll do it to them, you'll do it to me. I get you don't have to be unhappy. Put in your notice, let them send you out, right? A lot of companies be like, thank you for the notice. Here's a box, collect your things. Sayonara, right? But that is something that you're absolutely right. You want to know that there's always going to be a sense of loyalty, and you don't have to be happy in a position to be loyal to your contract that says, I'm going to do what I said I do. I'll end the way I said I would end my relationship here by turning in a notification, and then I will move on with my career, right? You do everything right. You never burn any bridges, but you really mentioned something here that's so powerful that a lot of people forget, and they don't leverage LinkedIn until they need work or they're looking for something. And you could always tell, which I always think is funny. If you've been in this game long enough, I'll start to see certain individuals getting real active, and I'm like, oh, they'll be changing jobs soon. I'm not kidding, David. Am I wrong?
You're
You
right.
can tell. Like, I can be like,
yeah.
okay, like I know they're not, because you see nothing from them for like a year, or all of a sudden a week or two before a conference or a show, everybody's going in. I'm gonna give you guys a little secret. So I had somebody reach out to me, and they said, hey, we'd like to talk to your company about helping us build our brand and getting our, sales activity going. We really, because I've been a BD person. I've been doing business development within our area for our industry for years, and have a good reputation doing it. So they reached out to me on LinkedIn. We connected, we had a call, and I said, well, this is how we do it. We help people do this here on LinkedIn. This is what we do. We leverage it. And they go, well, yeah, we're not really thinking that LinkedIn is what we want. And I said, that's how you found me. So you captured me here on LinkedIn. You saw me here, right here. I'm just curious as to, do you not think there's others like me that we're going to capture? And I just thought that was interesting, that some people still, they can't get off this trip, that LinkedIn is now not become known. It's not a kind of like, yeah, I should do it. It's a necessity. This is how people are going to see you.
Well, I think if you're in the business space and you're looking for a job, I mean, I think what we're talking about is creating that culture, right? And we talked about this with Nikki and Buddy, is whether you are actively seeking a job or not, I mean, you are creating a culture within your LinkedIn profile of, this is the kind of leader that I am or I am not within my own company and within my own role as of right now. And, none of us are ever guaranteed another day at our job. I mean, we'd like to hope, but with, what goes on in our country and in the world, like, you just never know. And so why would you not start creating a culture that portrays who you truly are when you're at work and within your business? I mean, that only sets you up for success in the long run. And, even if we're doing it socially on other platforms, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very aware of the message and the vibe that I put out, because that's important to me. And one of the things that we talked about with Maria and a few other guests is having an identity, a brand identity for yourself, and how that helps you in your business, in your job. And so I think it's incredible to be mindful of that, no matter what platform we're on, is that we are showing to the world our brand identity, what we believe, and our core beliefs of ourselves. And that's only going to serve us if we're mindful of it and we do it in a way that portrays, who we are as a person and our beliefs, and how we can show up and rock somebody else's world with our talents and our gifts.
Oh, 100%. And that's.
Yeah. I love it. And Krista gets going. There it is, Donnie. You have to watch out for these random explosions around here, David. All right, there's another one. So, but you nailed it, Krista, and so we got a question here I want to bring up. I think this is a good one. You were just talking about this, David, so I'm going to give this to you. Would being a brand ambassador for companies you work that you would like to work for be a good idea as well? In context of looking for a new position, not currently being employed, is that a good method to gain attention?
Well, I would definitely keep it to your company or industry, maybe industry insights. Writing articles on LinkedIn. Um, a lot of people just don't see the value. Here's what articles do, regardless if it gets any attention or not. If I'm a recruiter and I go to your profile and you've written this article and I read that little article, now I have a better understanding of your understanding about the knowledge in your industry. Now I've gotten, maybe I would never know that unless I got on the phone call with you. So writing articles give people the ability to learn your knowledge about a subject matter before they even talk to you. It's a good reference tool too. If somebody asks you something, well, hey, here's this article I wrote on this. Articles are actually searchable on like any search engine, Bing, Google, and stuff like that. So
it is one of the items that is cross compatible, I guess. I don't know the words of this stuff. I should ask Donnie. Hey, give me nerd words. Give me a list of them.
So that gentleman that asked that question, what was his first name again?
That was Seth. So Seth was saying, and I'll bring it back up again. He's saying, would it be a smart move to work towards that brand ambassadorship for a company you're seeking to be employed with?
Yeah, I think you either keep it to your company and industry. Because you don't want other, your current employees to go, you're posting what?
Yeah. No, I think he said if you're not employed. Right?
Yeah, if you're not employed. No. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Definitely.
Well, yeah. Yes. So if I start writing all these wonderful articles about David Alto, and my team's going to be like,
what happened?
What's going on, Rigo? Like, I like David too, but yeah.
Before I forget now, so my clients say, well, Dave, if I take my LinkedIn profile currently and I really ramp it up with everything that you've said, here's the problem. My HR and my manager are going to be on my what and say, right. Dave, right? Okay, so here's the get out of jail card. Okay, you can do two things. You could get ahead of it, go to your boss on some type of meeting and maybe ask permission first and say, hey, I really learned some really great things about LinkedIn. Maybe I could share that with the group so we can level up all of our LinkedIn, so that way when clients or whatever come to us. Or if your boss does say, Dave, I see that you've updated your LinkedIn, looking for a job, get ready to, leave us. And you would say, no, I just learned again, you would leverage what you learned and how the rest of the department and teams can level up theirs, or maybe they hire you to do that.
Yeah.
So Krista, go ahead if you got some on this, because I got another question. I love it. You guys keep the questions rolling in, man.
Yeah, I really like the question that Nadia posted about
that's what I was getting ready to pop up. Go ahead, girl.
This is always a really tricky spot to be in, Dave. So if you could help us with this and her question was, how do we balance out personal and professional, and we're not giving too much one way or the other and turning people off or doing the wrong thing? What would your advice be for that?
Perfect. Do all of it. Because the hell that the people that don't like it, here's why. Why.
Do it all.
Do it all. Here's
that would have been my answer. Like, who cares? But I'm trying to be nice. Again, if you know me, you know that's a great answer. But David, I love it. Go ahead.
Look, people are going to like you or they're not going to like you. Right. But people got to get to know you. Okay. So if you're on LinkedIn and you never do a video ever of yourself, ever. Now I'm saying maybe once in a great while you do. But if you don't do a video, I really don't gain that connection. And let's face it, we all do different things outside of whatever we're leveraging LinkedIn for. Some of my best posts have nothing to do with what I do. My latest post, I got the most views. I talked about Ukraine. The other one that I did a poll one time about, what's your favorite coffee, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts? Oh my gosh, you would have thought that I 300,000 views, 9,000 votes. I got business from it too. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because new people that have never seen my content learned about what I do.
That's right.
So to be honest, you can share a picture of your puppy and talk about, whatever, but literally, because it is not this boring business platform. Post whatever you want.
Yeah.
Now, again, maybe not some political stuff or ease into that or whatever. But again, share you, because that's how people, you're at a networking event. You may share a picture on your phone of your kids or your dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You may.
Yeah.
So
and I
share
think,
whatever you want.
I think what's really cool about that too. So I posted a post once upon a time about my son's stinky feet. And the post before that was a really incredible nutritional post. And it was really one of my best strategies with my mamas on how to lose weight when you're on vacation or how to maintain your progress. So it was a very powerful post, and I got crickets on it, but it's because it was a blog. It was a post. So it was long. People just don't take the time all the time to read those things. However, I posted something about my son's stinky feet. I had 365 answers on how to cure my 11-year-old stinky feet. Right. Now, one person could go, well, what a waste. Nobody cares about what I'm doing. But for me, I was like, ooh, this is awesome. You just boosted my algorithm. It was easy. All these people participated. And now the post that I put out this next week or whatever I'm putting out that has to do with nutrition, more eyeballs, more people get to see it because I had a post that really piqued somebody's interest, and now the algorithm and my stuff is getting out there, and they also see like, this is a concern of mine. I have an 11-year-old with stinky feet. Who can't relate to that, right?
Well, what you pointed out there, Krista, and yes, what you pointed out there, as soon as you say that, I'm thinking like a couple of my younger kids where I'm like, your armpits are supposed to smell like at 7? Like, when did that start? I don't remember. Did I just smell at 7 and 8 years old and didn't know it?
Had no clue.
Right. Because I'm like, you need deodorant? You're 7.
Yeah.
But okay. But that's little kid drama. See, I connect with that because I'm like, yeah, I have stinky kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Gets to see that next post, right? The one that really truly matters to me. I know that I will have some exposure and some momentum going in my direction. And so I never feel like any of my posts or thoughts or ideas are wasted because for one of two reasons, right? If I'm putting content out, it shows my authority in that area. So when somebody is ready to look at my profile or potentially look at hiring me as their coach, they can see that I'm putting out content and information. I am the authority in the arena that I work in. And I'm doing it not for the likes and the accolades, but to show you that I have an idea of what it is that I do. And I've got some strong thoughts on how to help you get to where you want to go. And so that's when I go to post and put content on my social platforms, it's very much establishing my authority, building my own identity and brand so that when people come my way, when it's the right time for them, I have situated myself in a position to serve them and for them to like and trust me. And I feel like doing this in the job world is no different, right? When a recruiter comes your way, let's give them something that they can anchor into and be excited about chatting with you on, instead of them just passing you by because you don't have a few things set up in your profile.
I love it. And what I think a lot of people forget is whether you are, whether you're recruiting, whether you're searching, whether you're building a business, all of these rules are the same. They apply for everybody. It's about gaining attention. So the things that David's sharing, you guys, I really hope you're paying attention and keep the question. We have another one, Gail. We're going to get to yours, so we'll bring that up. But keep them coming in because these are really good. And understanding how to leverage this is this tool. LinkedIn is important. But I want to get to one of the items that you said here, and in regards to the post. So you get a post that does really well. I'll put out some, and they're silly. I had one where my daughter had bought me this really great decanter for my whiskey, and it looks like an AR, and it works out great. And I have bullet bourbon in it, and you get it's a bullet bourbon in a glass gun decanter for my whiskey. And if you know me, I love my whiskey. So any of these gifts are great. I've never seen a post do that well for me, and I was like, okay. And you know what I said? My gift's better than yours. That was it. That was it. That was it. And it just, it blew up. And that's not the first time. Here's what you guys need to remember. People are watching. And when you read and you give somebody something with context, if they're taking the time to read it, they're getting value out of it. It's okay if they pass it through. The one that stops to read it, that's the one that you want to impact anyways. Because you're going to say something and you don't have to only say it once. So if you're looking for a job, if you're seeking to gain credibility in your field and you already are employed, don't forget to understand that you don't have to just say something once. You can bring it out more than once. You can keep reminding people. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm still here. This is my strength right here. These are some of the things we're doing. We talk about our kids all the time. People say, well, it's a professional network. Yeah, and there are a lot of professionals have kids at their house right now, running around behind them while they have their fake background. Because guess what? 70% of people who left their office space during COVID are not returning back to their office space. Just bear that in mind. Trust me, now's more ever a time, if never before, now's the time to start connecting with people with real things that we're all dealing with. Because guess what? I want to know that who I'm connecting with is being authentic with me. That's just my personal opinion. I'll leave it at that.
I don't want to connect with boring people.
No. That's why we have you on, David.
That's right, darn it. I mean, no, look, I might post like the post I did today. It was not necessarily silly, but it was this person walking alongside this mountain ledge, kind of scary, but the views were good. Okay, now why would that video ever do well? Well, it's because the message in the post kind of tied to the video, and people love seeing videos. Again,
I'm looking at it right now. That freaks me out just looking at it.
It did okay. I think it's at 20,000 views or something like that. Well, I average like 13,000 views per post.
That's
so,
awesome.
it's okay. But anyway,
not bad. Are you humble bragging right now on this show? I'm just wondering.
Oh, I have.
Are you humble bragging right now?
I have never been guilty of that ever.
Is that a humble brag, Don? That's a humble brag, right? All right. I just want to make sure. Hashtag humble brag.
Listen, if you do not humble brag, who is going to pat yourself? Who's going to listen?
That's
you
right.
have to do this.
Nobody will do it.
Nobody. We had one of the guys in our coaching call this morning. So what's the best, the question was best advice you've ever been given. And he said, learn to take credit for things. I was like, yes, that's exactly right. You got to, but I got to tease you.
Yeah.
Plus, if I could use cool coin words like humble brag.
Humble brag. I will not tell you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, shoot. That's right. The question.
Yeah, I think Gail's question is really good. Do you want me to ask it, Rigo?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So Gail was asking, this is a question scenario. John loves his job, but is laid off immediately as a result of COVID after 30 years. He was on LinkedIn, but never active while employed. Didn't see the need, which I'm sure, Dave, you find a lot of people fall into this boat.
Oh, yes.
Should John have been consistently posting on LinkedIn, especially when he was employed, so he could probably get a job faster now that he is unemployed? What would your advice be to somebody who has been in a job for some time and they don't have the fear or the idea that might not be in their future? What would your advice be to anybody that's on LinkedIn when it comes to posting and showing up on LinkedIn?
Sure. It is never too late. It is never too late. I didn't leave my day job and start doing what I do until I was 50 years old. It is never too late. And to be honest, even if you don't post, just upping your game on your LinkedIn profile and learning how to network with those little tips will be fine. If you do not want to post, I have clients all the time that say, Dave, I don't want to. They don't need to. But you still need to have that LinkedIn presence. And yes, sure, John should have, and that's okay. He didn't, but it is never too late. And I have a lot of clients that go from like 0 recruiter hits to actually getting, some good traction and recruiters finding them just by making some simple, edits to their LinkedIn profile.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I know that can be one of the most overwhelming and frustrating things is to be seeking a job, to be qualified, or sometimes the best candidate. And it's really hard to get anyone to notice you or to find you or to see you. And so, and a lot of times people are probably internalizing that I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. They don't like what they see. And it really has nothing to do with you. It just has to be with, how we hire and look at people in, 2022. It's not just about what you can and can't do. It's how people can find you. And so I love that this is what you do, and you help people land those jobs that they're qualified for and that they can impact those companies with.
And make sure, though, recommendations, make sure that a couple times a year, maybe you're asking your current employees, current peers, direct reports, bosses, whomever you've worked with, ask for those recommendations. And please, when we get annual reviews or we get this amazing metric or whatever, write it down, edit your, update your resume, 2 or 3 times a year. Now, when I say update, maybe you just jot down some notes or you go into your Word doc and write down a couple things, because I have clients that come to me all the time and go, Dave, I can't remember all those metrics, accomplishments, and achievements that I've had, because maybe they've had so many they can't remember hardly any.
Yeah.
Write them down in the moment. And go tell John Gale. Hello, Gale.
Yeah, that's just go tell. I thought that was funny.
I love it.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Right. Asking for a friend. One of the things I might add to this as well is, when you are new to a platform like this, what's great is this particular network, like LinkedIn, is always hungry for people who are willing to contribute and engage in content. And so one of the biggest tips that I would definitely recommend is that aspect of learning how to engage into content and putting things out there. If you have 30 years of experience in a role that you were in, you have tons of information that you could start to share about. And so you talked about, being able to put out, like you said, the not the newsletter, but the
article.
An article, and being able to take, it doesn't matter if you're doing it, once a month or once a week or once, maybe twice a month, but you're taking some time and you're writing on things and sharing stuff that you've learned and talking about the skills that you learned and how that applies to areas in people's careers, offering mentorship advice, all of these things. When you have experience and you're coming into a place like this, it's hungry for people who want to engage. So one of the things I would definitely put out there, because this is the same, again, this goes with when we're working with our clients and teaching them lead generation skill sets, that organic inbound aspect of bringing in people to you. And that's really what you're teaching here, David. You're teaching people how to draw attention all on their own without having to go and force themselves onto somebody. Because when you give, right? Go ahead.
No, 100%. No, go for it.
I was like, no, you got something else? Because I'm like, you got a tip 5. I'm like, go for it. Yeah, no, but that's just the thing that I would definitely add to what you've been saying and just recommend to these guys. Like, don't just go in and by the way, go comment, engage, have a conversation. If you're just going in and thumbing up everything, especially this one kills me when there is 20, 30 people liking. There's 0 comments, and 3 or 4 of them I know would like to do business with that person, and not one of them commented. I'm like, you realize if you comment and engage, you're the only one talking.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Like, they're going to immediately recognize and remember you, whether you're connected or not. So again, this is the thing, is go and engage. This isn't Facebook. This isn't Instagram. This is LinkedIn. They want people to talk. They want people to engage. They want conversation. They want thought leadership. If you have experience and you're unemployed or you're trying to move into a different place, this is literally the place for you to build that up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you only had maybe just, you went blurry for a mistake.
Yeah, I looked at Donnie. Donnie was like, I don't know.
If you only had 20, 30 minutes to invest, and maybe you didn't know what to post. Yes, you have to spend that time engaging. So already this year, can we put hashtag humble brag? Because I'm about to drop some bombs here in a second. So I'm going to do it right now. Go ahead. I've only posted 3.44 times per day on LinkedIn this year. 2.9 million views. But I promise you, I've commented way more than I've engaged. So yes, if you only have a specific amount of time, find those different either companies or those thought leaders and engage with their content. Because to be honest, I mean, if you only have 100 followers, but and you post something, you might not get any engagement, and I get it, but over time you will. But if you engage with somebody that has 1 million followers and you're engaging with that content and it's very thoughtful, more people will see it than would have seen on your post. So yes, if you have just only a little bit of time, please spend it engaging. That's the only reason I get those views, is because I have an audience that I engage with that want to engage on my content.
And they know you're going to. That's the thing. Those that are connecting with you, they know you're going to. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here real quick. First off, David, thank you very much. Give him another round of applause, Donnie, for being on LunchTalk Live.
So good. Yeah.
Yep. And we're totally about the humble bragging, so go right ahead. All right, so we talked about keeping a low barrier of entry. That point number one was, instead of trying to engage with the hiring manager, engaging with like personalities, people within that organization that would benefit from making the introduction. That was point number one. Point number two, we were talking about the headline and understanding how this truly is the SEO in the search aspect for a hiring manager. So when they're looking for personalities that are going to match what they're looking for, how you place your headline and what you talk about in that context of your page is going to be how they find you. So taking time to do that. By the way, if you guys want more of these tips, David's got like all kinds of free PDF downloads. If you go to his profile and connect with him, he's got areas and video that you can grab, and he's going to give like that information to you for free. So go and connect with him. I've already put it in the comments. We'll do it again, but it's real easy. You're going to see this. By the way, I love your haircut. So you're going to have this great looking guy with a great looking haircut with a cartoon next to him. You can't miss him. Okay. You really can't. Number three, I didn't write down because it was a lot and I got excited. Did you write it down? I hope you did.
Who, me?
How about you, David?
Oh, just connect with me and I'll figure it out.
Anyways, what I loved was the last piece that we talked about, and that was engaging. Engaging in your content, understanding what that matters, how that matters, and knowing that when you're doing this, this is how you're going to build your presence and your personal brand. Hey, I'm being real. I'm just telling people. I'm like, I looked at my notes. I'm like, oh crap, like 3 is empty.
We lost order, but there was a lot of good stuff there.
There was a ton, and this is wonderful. And the whole point of having a notepad, Rigo, is to write your damn notes. But I got excited. I knew I would, and I love the comment from one of the viewers said 1 hour is just not long enough for LunchTalk.
It's not.
No, we appreciate it. So listen, if you guys, again, if you don't know David, please connect. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Donnie was ready. David, I am so grateful that you took the time to be here today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate the two of you giving me this opportunity. So thank you.
Of course. Hey, anything you got? Any final words before we kind of end the program here? Anything for the audience out there that you'd like to share with them for connecting or anything?
You just have to have fun on LinkedIn. Let go a little bit. Again, share what you want and truly engage. Yes, that it's not about those likes and comments. Again, it's really, really, really engaging. And yes, bald guys are the bomb.
I have a hat on today because I was running a little late and I had to be here early, and I'm like, I didn't get to shave. Yeah. I didn't get to shave. So sorry, guys. I don't know, but anyways. All right, you guys, thank you so much. David, hang tight before as we end. I want to say thank you offline, but you guys, thank you so very much for being here. Again, Krista and I are so grateful that you are a part of this program each and every week. I have a little surprise for you. So next week, I am going to be in San Diego at a conference for our industry, and so I will be doing this remotely. So we're going to see how Krista takes the baton. It'll be Krista and Donnie. I will be on the show, and we're going to try to line up something special because we're going to be among amongst a ton of other folks. So I didn't really want to line up a specific guest. I'm going to try to spring it on a few and just bring them in live right there at the beach in Coronado and the San Diego area. And we're going to have some fun with next week's show. So please, please, please be here. If you guys have some ideas on who do you think we should bring in and pull into the show, especially those of you guys who are in my network, drop them in the comments. Let's blast them and let's get them ready for the show. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Krista, any final words?
No, this was fantastic. I love it.
A lot of great information, great nuggets. I hope you guys really got something out of this, like just like I did. And again, I will see you next Thursday right here, 1 p.m. Central Time every week, 1 p.m. Central Time, LunchTalk Live. We are happy that you're here, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Donnie, send us out, baby.